Welcome back to Book 2, Unit 5. I'm Sophie Lee. Good to be here again. 这一课我们要讨论的是 Curb Your Enthusiasm. Let's welcome Professor Yates. Hello, Professor Yates. Good to have you today. Please say hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here again.
谢谢 Professor Yates. 今天我们要讨论现代的流行用语，例如过度夸饰的用语。首先呢，我们要看看这一课的相关字汇。Professor Yates will read the vocabulary and example sentences, please.
Premiere. Premiere.
Premiere 是名词，首映、首演的意思。
The world premiere of the concert will be at the Royal Albert Hall in London.
音乐会的全球首映将在伦敦的皇家 Albert 音乐厅。
Evolve. Evolve.
Evolve 呢是动词，逐步演变、逐步形成。
Which Pokemon should you evolve?
你想要进化成哪一个 Pokemon 的角色呢？
Intervene. Intervene.
Intervene 是动词，干涉、干预或是卷入。
The central bank sometimes steps in to intervene in the currency to stabilize the exchange rate.
中央银行有时候会介入干预货币市场，以稳定汇率。Step in 就是介入的意思。
Trend. Trend.
Trend 呢是名词，趋势或是倾向。
Surveys indicate a trend away from meat consumption and toward plant-based diets.
调查显示，有从肉类消费转向以植物性的饮食的趋势。
Superlative. Superlative.
Superlative 呢是形容词或是副词的最高级的形式。好，它也可以说是品质最好的。
Best is the superlative of good.
最好这个字是好的最高级。
Occur. Occur.
Occurred 是动词，发生，特别是指事故或是其他意外事件发生。
An accident involving over 10 vehicles has occurred in the southbound lanes of Highway 2.
2号高速公路南向车道发生了10几辆车的意外事故。这个 southbound 就是南向。OK。
Offender. Offender.
Offender 呢是名词，是罪犯或是犯法的人。
In Singapore, if you're a first-time offender, you will be imprisoned for 1 year. The second arrest entails a 3-year sentence.
在新加坡，如果你是初犯，例如吸毒，将会被判入狱1年。第2次逮捕呢，将会被判3年的徒刑。To entail 的意思就是牵涉或是使必要的。
Precede. Precede.
Precede 呢是动词，指时间或空间上的处在之前。
Barack Obama preceded Donald Trump as the President of the United States.
Obama 呢，在Trump 之前呢，担任美国的总统。
Sheer. Sheer.
Sheer 呢是形容词，完全、彻底的。
Her argument is sheer nonsense.
他的说法完全是胡说八道。
Intense. Intense.
Intense 呢是形容词，强烈的、极度的、认真的或是热切的。
He suddenly felt an intense pain in his right arm.
他突然感到右背呢剧烈的疼痛。
Tainted. Tainted.
Tainted 呢是受污的。
He was rushed to the hospital because of eating the tainted seafood.
他因为吃了受污染的海鲜而被紧急的送到医院。
Peruvian. Peruvian.
Peruvian 呢是形容词，秘鲁的。好，它也可以当名词，是秘鲁人。
Women's alpaca sweaters, Peruvian custom knitwear, jewelry, and alpaca ponchos are on sale.
女士的这种羊驼毛衣，哈，在秘鲁定做的那种针织品，还有珠宝跟羊驼的披风正在热销当中。
Appraisal. Appraisal.
Appraisal 呢是名词，是鉴定、估价的意思。
The newspaper gave an editorial appraisal of the company's performance of the past year.
该报纸对该公司过去1年的业绩进行了评估。
Devalue. Devalue.
Devalue 是动词，使贬值或不重视。
Mexico was forced to devalue the peso due to her not so thriving economy.
由于墨西哥的经济不景气，墨西哥被迫贬值 peso 的币值。
Embellishment. Embellishment.
Embellishment 呢是名词，添加细节或润色、美化。
The architect was asked to add some sculptural embellishments to the building design.
建筑师呢被要求在建筑设计中加添了一点雕塑的装饰。Thank you, Professor Yates. Do you know the American hit comedy television series Curb Your Enthusiasm? How do you curb your enthusiasm?
Actually, my answer may surprise you. I tell my students to be passionate about life and encourage them to be passionate about their studies. I practice what I preach and believe that as a teacher, the enthusiasm and passion for my subject is contagious. If I love what I do and what I teach, then my students will love learning about it.
Thank you. Well said. 叶慈老师说呢，他告诉他的学生要对生活充满热情，并且要鼓励他们对学习充满热情。他自己就有身体力行这样的说法。他相信呢，当为一个老师哈，他的热情跟他的激情呢具有感染力。如果他喜欢他自己的工作和他所教的知识，那么他的学生也会喜欢的。Let's take a look at the first paragraph. Professor Yates will read the paragraph for us.
Ever since the American hit comedy television series Curb Your Enthusiasm premiered on October 15th, 2000, the term to curb something has become quite sensational and catchy. What makes language so fascinating? For one thing, it is always evolving. Users create new words all the time. According to the passage, sometimes we have to intervene with the evolution. How then? There is a trend where people tend to resort to exaggeration when sensible alternatives work just as well. This sort of practice began small and trivial from daily conversational communication on social media, such as Facebook updates, tweets, and hashtag trends. Even fully grown adults from previous generations have caught on to the social media lingo in everyday conversations. We're too quick to use superlative words or exaggerating phrases to respond to everyday occurrences. Now it's occurring in the workplace.
Thank you, Professor Yates. I think everybody is more or less on social media. Most of us abound with new, invented, or exaggerated use of language every day, whether we like it or not. 大多数的人呢，都会用社群媒体，不管我们喜不喜欢，每天都有大量的资讯充斥在网络上。我们看看这个句子哦。Ever since the American hit comedy television series Curb Your Enthusiasm premiered on October 15, 2000, the term to curb something has become quite sensational and catchy. 好，这个句子很长哦，能够正确的表达英文的时态哦是很重要的。中文没有这个问题。那任何语言呢，它都有它不同要强调的地方。比如说德文啊、法文，它会在名词前面会加阳性或是阴性，这也是学习者必须要特别注意的，来表示对不同语言的尊重。如果没有把英文的那个或德语或法文的这个语言的动词时态标示清楚，那么听众呢或是读者呢就不知道你说的时间点是在哪里。那当然你也可以加上时间副词来强调时间。好，有指定的年月日，我们会用 on。例如这里的 on October 15th, 2000。好，那这个句子是 ever since 加主词动词。这个动词呢是过去的动词哦，然后后面呢它的主要子句呢会用完成式。自从2000年10月15日美国热门喜剧电视连续剧《消消气》首映以来呢，这个首映呢就是 premiere 哦， The term to curb something， 好，这个 term 呢，这个用法呢，抑制某些事情哦，这样的用法呢，就变得非常的流行，几乎每个人呢都可以朗朗上口。Has become quite sensational and catchy. Quite， 相当的，它没有像 very 那么样的严重，但它就是相当的 very。OK， 好 ，sensational 这里有蔚为风气的意思 ，sensational。Catchy， 朗朗上口。Hit comedy television series， 热门喜剧电视连续剧。这 series 呢，就是连续剧啊。有些名词呢一定要加 s， 好，这些字呢一定要用复数的，比如说 series 或是 species， 种类品种。Means 方法手段啊，这些字哈都要用复数形式。OK，what makes language so fascinating？ 那是什么让语言这么样的迷人呢 ？OK，fascinating 或是 captivating 或是 attractive、charming、intriguing 这几个形容词呢，都有令人着迷的意思。好，我们看下面哦。For one thing, it is always evolving。这里的 it 呢是指语言。一方面来说呢，语言一直都在发展，用户呢一直都在创新词。Users create new words all the time。这个 all the time 的意思就是不断的、随时的。那根据这个说法啊，这样说来呢，我们有时候还必须要干预这样子的演变。To intervene with the evolution。To intervene with the evolution， 干预这样的演变。How then？ 那要怎么做呢？有一种趋势是 There is a trend。什么样的 trend 呢？什么样的趋势呢？后面有一个形容词子句哦。A trend where， 在可以用恰当的字的地方，人们却往往夸大其词，不用恰当的字。Where 引导的形容词子句修饰前面的 a trend。那这里的 where people tend to resort to exaggeration。To resort to 的意思就是诉诸于什么，或是凭借着什么，或是采用的这意思哦。好，人们往往偏要夸大其词 ，when sensible alternatives works just as well。好，这个 sensible alternatives 是指恰当的字 ，alternatives 呢是名词，是另类的意思哦。方法取代方案，那这里呢我们指的是指恰当的字 alternatives。OK，when something works just as well， 就是当用其他的字也行得通的时候呢，我们偏偏会用夸大的词哦。好，来我们来念念这一个句子。There is a trend where people tend to resort to exaggeration when sensible alternatives works just as well。好，接下来哦 ，This sort of practice began small and trivial。这种做法 practice。OK，common practice 我们常会说哦，就是通常我们会怎么做哦 ，common practice。OK，this sort of practice began 这样子的一个做法呢，慢慢的从社交媒体上的日常对话交流开始。这种做法从社交媒体上的日常对话交流，例如 Facebook updates、Facebook 更新这种还有 tweets， 还有 hashtag、trends 这样子的方式，慢慢的一点一点的开始。Even fully grown adults from previous generation have caught on to the social media lingo。甚至呢，老一辈的人们呢，也开始用这样子的网络用语，他也开始了解到这样的网络用语。Even 甚至 fully grown adults from previous generation 老一辈的人们 have caught on to the social media lingo。好 ，to catch on to something 这里有了解的意思。The social media lingo， 网络的用语。好，这个 lingo 这个字哈，其实我们之前学过 linguistics， 就是 linguistics 就是语言学。那 lingo 有用语的意思。在日常对话当中呢，我们往往会使用最高级的形式或是夸张的短语来回应日常的事件。我们来看看的回应 to respond to。回应日常的事件 ，everyday occurrences， 日常所发生的一些大小事 ，occurrences。 好，这个字很有意思哦。这个字是to occur 当动词的时候是当发生，它当名词的时候呢是所发生的事情、事件或是遭遇。那 everyday occurrences 就是每天所发生的大小事。Now it is occurring in the workplace。现在这种现象呢正在工作场所中发生了。好，我们来看看第二段。Professor Yates will read the paragraph for us. Thank you.
One of the worst offenders is the phrase epic fail. Epic fail means a notable, obvious, and usually public failure. Normally, it is preceded by a hashtag or followed by a colon when a report of something matters of sheer troublesomeness, such as leaving something behind in a friend's car. Leaving something behind in a friend's car is not an epic fail. An epic fail was the defeat of the Battle of Okinawa when the Japanese lost their last significant naval force in 1945. The defeat of Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo, or even the defeat of the Dark Lord Sauron in the Battle of Blackgate in Lord of the Rings.
Thank you. One of the worst offenders is the phrase epic fail. Epic fail means a notable, obvious, and usually public failure. 这个最严重的这个语误之一呢是史诗般的失败这样的用法。Offender 本来是犯罪的人，那这里可以解释成错误的用法 offender。Epic failure 史诗般的失败，它意味着什么呢？明显而且是通常是公开的失败。Normally it is preceded by a hashtag or followed by a column, then a report of certain matters of sheer troublesomeness, such as leaving something behind in a friend's car. 好，通常呢，它的前面呢是hashtag 或是 column 冒号。Precede 呢是指时间上或空间上的处于什么什么之前哦。接着他会谈到某些非常麻烦的事情。A report of certain matters of sheer troublesomeness. Sheer troublesomeness 这里的 sheer 呢有 total 的意思。Sheer troublesomeness 也就是说 mere inconvenience。好。例如我们说what she say is sheer nonsense， 她所说的纯属无稽之谈。我们过度的夸张到连东西掉在朋友的车上都要描述的像史诗般的失败。Leaving something behind in a friend's car， 东西掉在朋友的车上。OK， 东西掉在朋友的车上并不是史诗般的失败。史诗般的失败例子呢？如日本在1945年失去了最后一支重要的海军部队，因而失掉了冲绳战役 ，the defeat of the Battle of Okinawa when the Japanese lost their last significant naval force in 1945. When 子句修饰 the defeat， 什么样的 defeat 才是 epic fail 呢 ？The defeat of the Battle of Okinawa。因为是专有名词，我们用大写。Naval force 是海上的军力。拿破仑呢，在 Battle of Waterloo 滑铁卢战役中战败了。甚至呢，在《魔戒》一书里面，这个黑暗领主 Sauron 被打败了。这样的一个defeat 才算是 epic fail。OK，defeat 是战败。To admit defeat。这里的 admit defeat 是名词承认战败。所以呢，记得东西掉在朋友的车上 is not epic fail， 它并不是 epic fail。Okay, right. Let's move on to the third paragraph. Professor Yates will read the third paragraph.
Another two words that have been commonly misused are intense and awesome. They are misused so often that their meanings have almost been tainted. It was intense is generally used to refer to a situation of no better than pretty good. It's not unbelievable or something that you've never experienced before. Likewise, awesome is an adjective to describe a situation that takes your breath away, or when you are in awe of the magnificent and spectacular view of Machu Picchu in the Peruvian Andes. So, if someone from the office brings you back a cup of coffee from Starbucks as a favor, it could be generous, maybe, but not awesome.
Okay, another two words that have been commonly misused are intense and awesome. 经常被滥用的另外两个词呢，还有 intense 跟 awesome 这两个字。好，这 intense 呢是强烈的 ，awesome 呢是令人敬畏的。They are misused so often that their meanings have almost been tainted. 它们经常的被滥用，以至于呢，它的真正的含义几乎都已经被污染了，就被污名了。好 ，It was intense is generally used to refer to a situation of no better than pretty good. 本来是指当时的情况啦，紧迫。It was intense 也有超厉害的这个意思，通常呢，也就是指不错的情况。A situation of no better than pretty good. 不是令人难以置信的，也不是从未经历过的一个事情哦。Likewise， 同样的，这个令人敬畏这个字哈 ，awesome 是一种形容词，它用来描述让你喘不过气来的情况，或许呢，当你对秘鲁这个安第斯沙漠的这个 Machu Picchu 的那个壮丽景色感到敬畏的时候的感觉。Be in awe of。对什么什么感到敬畏，哈 ，In all of the magnificent and spectacular views of Machu Picchu in the Peruvian Andes。好，我们再把这个句子念一次。Likewise, awesome is an adjective to describe a situation that takes your breath away, or when you are in awe of the magnificent and spectacular view of Machu Picchu in the Peruvian Andes. Professor Yes, could you please tell us a bit about the Andes?
The Central Andes in Peru and Bolivia. The Northern Andes in Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador.
是的，中部的安第斯山脉呢，就是包括了在秘鲁呢，还有玻利维亚。那北部的安第斯山脉呢，在委内瑞拉、哥伦比亚还有厄瓜多尔。好，那讲到这个 Machu Picchu 呢，人们对这个马丘比丘的这个壮丽的景色呢感到敬畏 ，be in awe of， 对什么什么感到敬畏。因此呢，如果办公室里面的人啊，帮你从星巴克带回来一杯咖啡，这算慷慨，但是绝对不是令人敬畏的。As a favor， 意思就是指对人施惠哦。好 ，favor 跟 flavor 是不同的字哦。我们会说 "Do me a favor" 哦，帮我一个忙。The soup doesn't have much flavor。好，这个 flavor 呢是味道的意思。好，这个汤呢没有什么样的味道。OK， 那个 Häagen-Dazs 呢 sells many flavors of ice cream。好，就是那个 Häagen-Dazs 呢卖了很多不同口味的冰淇淋。Right. The last paragraph gives you more examples. Professor Yes will read the last paragraph.
Thank you. Even abbreviations like LOL is misused. Does that light-hearted joke really make you laugh out loud? Think it over before you hit reply with LOL. Imagine the workplace starting to swarm with examples of misused words, phrases like, thanks a million, I'm crazily busy, and it was hugely successful, are very much overused too. When it comes to word collocations, there are many inaccurate usages. Her response was majestically optimistic. Seriously? Were you really feeling majestic? In reality, we are engaging words purely for the purpose of stressing the importance of appraisal. Being creative with language is excellent, however. We ought to appreciate the beauty and simplicity of our language, but not devalue it through the overusage of embellishments.
Thank you. Even abbreviations like LOL is misused. Does that light-hearted joke really makes you laugh out loud? 好，这个 abbreviation 呢是缩写，例如 CEO is an abbreviation for Chief Executive Officer. 好，就是执行长。The person with the most important position in a company. 好，这一段话呢是在说很多缩写的字呢也被误用了，甚至 laugh out loud（LOL） 这个缩写也被误用了。那个轻松的笑话真的会让你大笑吗？Think it over before you hit reply with LOL. 在按 LOL 回复之前哦，请仔细的考虑。我们来看一看 imagine 的用法。Imagine 加主词，后面加动名词。Imagine the workplace starting to swarm with examples of misused words. 想象一下我们的工作场所开始大量出现的一些滥用单词的例子，像 Thanks a million 100万个谢谢。I'm crazily busy 我忙疯了。And it was hugely successful 巨大的成功。好，这些短语呢也被过度的使用了。When it comes to 当涉及到搭配词 collocation 的时候呢，就有许多不正确的用法。When it comes to word collocations, there are many inaccurate usages. 好。Her response was majestically optimistic. 她的反应呢，乐观到宏伟。Seriously, really? Are you sure? 真的吗？你真的有一种宏伟的感觉吗？实际上，我们使用的语言纯粹只是为了要强调赞美的重要。For the purpose of stressing the importance of appraisal， 强调赞美的重要。OK， 所以呢，我们应该更欣赏语言的美丽和简洁，但是不要因为过度的修饰反而贬低了它。那我们来看看最后这一段的句子哦，我们表达和所说相反的意见的时候，我们用 however。Being creative with language is excellent. However, we ought to appreciate the beauty and simplicity of our language, but not devalue it through the overuse of embellishments. 也可以当这个 embellishment，OK？ 好，我们这个 however 也可以当程度的副词。However angry I am, never seems to be able to shout at people. 不管我多生气，我就是没有办法对人大声的大叫。OK, you can do it however you like. It really doesn't matter. 要怎么样做都没有关系。好，同学，我们来看看实义动词的用法 ，that, make 和 have 的用法。我们请Professor Yates 帮我们念一下例句。
Let me look more closely at the black spot. He was careful not to make any promise that he can't keep. The teacher tried hard to make the boy apply himself. If you want to live well, let others live well too. My advice is to have someone recommend a solution to the problem.
Thank you very much, Professor Yates. We hope to see you soon. 今天呢，我们上到这里，我们下一个单元见，谢谢。